master, then of course, going through a curriculum is not just finishing the curriculum, but having the mastery of the curriculum. So I'd like you to have that kind of skill in dealing with piecewise functions. Now, supposedly, these are the type of questions you find confusing, and I receive a lot of questions regarding this type. So let's say I have function of 4 function of -2, let's make it a negative, and then -2 function of let's say 5. Okay, now you cannot multiply 4 and -2. The function of -2 means what is the value of y when x is -2. So literally you're multiplying a y here, not x. Okay, so if you multiply 4 and -2, that means you're multiplying 4 with an x. When in fact, your problem is asking you to multiply a y value, not x. So therefore, we need to find first function of -2 and also function of 5. So what I can suggest for you to make this easier to manage, put parentheses in place of function of -2 so that you will not be confused about multiplying it with -2. It means that there is supposed to be a number which is actually a value of f of x or y in place of that parenthesis. So we will have to find first function of -2, but of course function of -2 is identifying first which of these condition will satisfy this value in the pieces. So you cannot say it's supposed to be here because as you can see here, it's not equivalent to -2. So it can only qualify here, and therefore we will use the piece negative absolute value of x plus 5. So negative absolute value of x plus 5. Okay, so that means we will plug in the value of x, which is -2 plus 5. The reason why I gave this, in most cases, students would multiply negative times negative. That means positive. But that is not really the case. The negative absolute value of -2 plus 5 means that we get first the absolute value of -2 before you multiply it with a negative. Remember that any absolute value is always positive because it's supposed to be a distance from 0 in a number line. So therefore, this is supposed to be the negative of +2. When you take the absolute value of -2, it becomes positive. So therefore, this will be 3. So I'm going to place 3 here because that's the value of function of -2. Okay, next one, we will get function of 5. Then function of 5 belongs here. Alright, so therefore, I will use x minus 4, which is 5 minus 4, that gives us 1. So therefore, we can now evaluate the function by performing the operation. 4 times 3 is 12 minus 2, which is equivalent to 10.